Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
I'm Jonathan Federa. I'm here to inspire you to hustle and grow your income while doing what you love. Just because you have problems doesn't mean you can't prosper. Just because you have tragedy doesn't mean you can't triumph. Actually, you should be taking advantage of that.
There's positivity in my pain. I took scarcity and turned it into strength. I always tell lies, there's not much you can do to me where I won't make an obstacle an opportunity. We never lose, we only learn lessons. If you wanna change your perspective. If you don't know how to do that, we'll show you how right now. Cause it's about to go down. You are tuning in to creating success out of failure. Creating success creating success out of failure. Out of failure.
Welcome everybody to Creating Success Out of Failure. I am here with my co-host Jessica, and I think it's really important we kind of go over overcoming adversity, right? And Jessica has had a bit of a week, so I kind of want to dig into, Jessica, how you handle, like, tell us what happened or what's going on and how you are working through everything.
Well, I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention on my social media pages and whatnot, because I think it's a real important message. We're always talking about mindset. We're always talking about overcoming hurdles and getting on the other side of it. But I think, what a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand is that's a constant battle that you're going to face. It's not like you hit a certain level and that stops. Right? It's like, and I think a lot of people do that because, for those of you that don't know, I'm a business coach. I own a company called Pivot and Slay. And I really work with a lot of entrepreneurs to pivot their businesses and their mindsets so they could slay their goals and get to the freedom that success leads to. And the reason that I put business and mindset together is because they are so intrinsically linked, and you can't really have a successful business if you don't get your mindset straight. And one of the most important things about getting it straight is that this mental toughness, you kind of build upon it as the years go on. And it's not that the problems stop coming. It's not that the adversity stops coming. It's just that you have now developed the proper skills and tool set to deal with them better and faster. And so this week on my social media, the Jessica Denny, on Instagram and Facebook, I shared a lot of what was going on in my life, because a lot of people come to me for help when they're exiting their 9-to-5 and they're trying to step into that CEO role of their company fully and 100% in. And they think that just because I've done that already and I'm further along, that I don't get to face any problems. And my problems are behind me. And that can't be further from the truth. And this week was a test for me personally. I was just going through some stuff. I'm going through a lot of personal development because I like to continue evolving and growing. And part of that is, joining mastermind groups and kind of leveling up in that circle, the people that I hang out with and the people that I'm spending my time with, because time is valuable. So now I'm only giving that time to people who I really feel are aligned with me. But with that growth comes a lot of loss. And I just kind of hit a wall facing like the loss of different people and friendships and relationships in my life, and kind of just seeing that shell of my former self in my rearview mirror. Things kind of got heavy, and I was feeling, that force weighing me down. I got emotional, and we kind of all get to that point. For me, I'm real even keeled. So when I feel things, I feel them real hard, and then I have to kind of let it all out. So I was sharing that it wasn't just one thing that happened. It was kind of like a series of things. And my opinion is it's probably just one thing, but because I'm in this negative mindset, I perceive it to be everything's going wrong. Why is this all happening at once? Blah, 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 blah. That top story.
I think everyone gets that feeling.
100%.
I get that a lot. And what I do, I picture whatever dragon I have to slay, whatever monster I don't want to do. And I usually get really annoyed because I haven't done it. I picture how I'm going to feel after it's done. And that kind of pushes me through that, right? And you said something earlier, like when you're leveling up, and leveling up means different things to different people, right? But you're never really satisfied because you're always hungry for more. You keep moving those goalposts. And what I've learned doing that, problems don't go away, like you said. You kind of just get better at handling them. But when you get to different levels, like if you're an investor or if you're a CEO, the problems get bigger, right? That's the fucking truth. No one talks about that. You know, when you have a problem, it might not be a $5,000 problem. It's usually like I had a $360,000 problem. Okay, but no, legit, that's just what it is. You know, and you get more resourceful, and as you handle those situations, you build confidence. So you kind of get numb to it, right? I mean, you don't get numb to that.
I don't know if I would describe it as numb, but I think the way you described it with confidence is really on point, because to me, these little tiny battles that we face all just are further evidence that we can make it through whatever it is we're facing. And once we're like, oh shit, we can do that, then the next problem, even if it's a little bit bigger, you're going into it with more confidence than you had before. And I think that's the beauty of it. It's compounding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when later on, after you've, stepped into a larger role in your company and you get the larger problems, you don't feel as stressed out about those things as you used to feel about things that are so meaningless now.
Yep.
Because you've, learned and built upon your confidence and your ability to solve things. And I do the same thing. You mentioned thinking about how you feel on the opposite side. Sometimes in the morning, I wake up early, I like to exercise, but there are mornings where I don't feel like it, and I kind of give myself a pep talk, like, how are you going to feel if you get out of bed versus how are you going to feel about that extra 15 minutes? Like, that 15 minutes isn't going to do much, but the way that you feel after is worth it. So you get out, and you do your thing. And that's kind of how I got out of this week's rut, because I love fitness. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do some kind of half-ass workout, because I was like in bed. I didn't get out. I didn't go exercise. I had coffee. I was like getting emotional. I was trying to read. And I'm like, fuck this. At least a half-ass workout. It's better than nothing. And, halfway through the workout, it kicked in and my energy started to develop. And I kind of bounced back a lot quicker than I would have, maybe a year ago.
Yeah. Well, you get conditioned to do it, right? You're teaching yourself. The biggest thing is like having control over your mind. Okay. Because your mind, honestly, most times you don't want to do shit. Like, I'll be fucking blunt as fuck. Since I moved down here, I'm still discombobulated and I haven't been working out like I should, but my diet's been on point. So I've been going on like runs and stuff like that, but not like weightlifting like I usually do. So, what's another good trick that I kind of do it myself?
Huh.
This is going to sound so weird. I haven't checked out the LA Fitness down here yet. I'm going to, and obviously I'm opening the gyms down here as well. But I ordered a whole bunch of shit, like home workout stuff, like heavy kettlebells, more weights, and another bike, and a whole bunch of supplements from Weight. And when that gets here, I'll be like, all right, cool. Now I'm excited again. So there's like little things you could do to kind of rein your mind in.
Yeah. I think the difference between a positive mindset and a negative one is the person who's thinking more positively is going to try to figure a way out. They're going to try to find the light and the lesson and move forward, keep pushing forward. The negative person is going to take that energy, those things, and use it as an excuse to stay in the dark place. Oh, look at poor me. Oh, this is not my fault. Look, I was right about blah, 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 instead of trying to figure out how to get out of it.
Yeah, the victim mindset bullshit.
And that's such a dangerous and unhealthy place. And you have to think, I know not a lot of people, we're always in the grind. So especially when you're first starting out in your business, you're kind of hustling all the time and you don't take out that time, carve it out for yourself. But what happens if you're in that negative mindset and bad shit happens, which is inevitable? It's going to happen in your business.
Fucking compounds.
If you can't figure it out and your personal life is tanking, guess what? that's going to affect how you show up to your business. And no one ever wants to admit that or think about it. So like taking those moments to figure out what's happening and why inside of you and what's bringing you down, and resolving it is going to make you show up to your company as a totally different person, an empowered, resourceful person ready to figure out how to solve problems
I
and
could
innovate.
agree more. I could not
Nobody
agree
thinks
more.
about it though, because they're too in the grind. Sometimes you got to take a step back.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you do
So,
that?
I try to, honestly, not nearly as much as I should. Sometimes I take a step back. There's a couple points in my life over the last 6 months that I've had a chance to take a step back and realize how much I've done. When I did a personal financial statement, that was eye-opening, you know, because my circumstances have changed dramatically over the last couple of years, which is what you're hoping for, which is what you're working for.
Yeah.
In terms of like how I manage stress, I just feel numb to everything and I just keep going. Right now, that doesn't mean I don't get down. Like I've had some down days here. I also feel like I'm on vacation here, but I've gotten more conditioned on to how to work through these things. You know what I mean? So let me ask you this, Jessica. Who is your ideal person that you want to coach?
So I love coaching people. There's two different people, and they're not as dissimilar as they might sound, right? I love coaching people who have a business that's thriving, but they have their foot still in their corporate life that they hate. And they're scared to let that safety net go. And they're having trouble exiting, even though they hate it, because they're afraid to go all in on the business. And similarly situated are the people who did take that step. They are in the business full time, but they're a solopreneur and they haven't really embraced and stepped into the CEO role and started to delegate, also out of fear. Both of these people have issues with risk taking and trusting their gut and delegating tasks. So they're afraid that without the safety net, they won't succeed. They're afraid that if they give a task to someone else, they won't do it the same way as the entrepreneur can. And I just love working with those people because really they already started with the biggest risk. They already took the biggest risk. They're just afraid to go all in on it. And when I left my corporate life, I worked on Wall Street as a regulator for 10 years. And I had started a chain of luxury barbershops and they took off. It was only one at the time. We only had one, but it took off. And I remember the moment where I was like, man, I want to leave this job. And that was scary. I had what most people think is like the best job, right? You're making high six figures, you have a pension, you have health insurance, and we're trained to believe that this is the holy grail. But something inside of me was like, no, this isn't enough. Like, I want to have freedom. I want to have flexibility. I'm not happy. I'm not doing what I love. So when I made the move 100% into my business, everything, all the revenue shot through the roof. Why do you think that is? Because of focus. Because I wasn't half in, I was all in. So a lot of times we're afraid of going all in. But what that does is put all of our focus into one really pointed area, and then you just catapult yourself forward. But it's hard to see that when you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, if you're a solopreneur and you're in your business 100% and you're doing everything yourself, imagine the power if you could release the things that you're not good at or don't enjoy and just turn your focus on to scaling and growing the brand and the company. And you delegate all that other stuff to someone else. It's the same concept. Your focus is going to be on growth. And once you take those steps and that risk, you're golden.
Yeah.
Woo! You're like soaring into orbit.
I love it.
I love working with those people because I've been there. Like, I feel that deep in my heart because I know exactly what that's like.
Yeah, we all have. I mean, focus is definitely power, and I don't think it's any different running multiple businesses, by the way.
No.
After you describe that, I think it's the same exact thing, same principle. Like right now, we're trying to get those gyms up, and focus and attention to detail is so critical. Even when, we have four really established entrepreneurs trying to build something that's new, even though it's inside of a franchise and a framework and everything's there. It's not like you got to figure anything out. There is a high level of focus that's required to knock down certain tasks, right? And it's how quickly, how deeply you can focus on that and get everything set up so it is not a business that is going to take up a lot of your time, right? Because if you're like, everybody has their main business. I have my financing company. Scott has his car dealership. Sean has his home efficiency company. And Joe has his mortgage company. Those are my partners in this, right? So
Yeah.
no one is actually saying, hey, this is what we're going to do full time. Absolutely not. It's an investment. So to grow and scale that requires everything you just described. So,
Yeah,
Jess.
that's another misconception, right? Is that we multitask. We're so good at multitask. That's just no. Multitasking is just you not focusing. That's all
Yep.
that. So we have to kind of like get those misconceptions out of our head and restart our framework and our mindset to really grow in a leadership position and grow as a CEO of your company.
Absolutely, 100%. What are some of the keys that you look for in people you want to work with? Not where they are, but talk to me about maybe core values or certain traits of the people that you want to surround yourself with. And when you
People I
consider
want to
coaching.
work, the entrepreneurs I want to work with, or the people in my group that I want to surround myself.
No, the entrepreneurs that you want to work with.
So I think the best type of entrepreneur that works the best with my personality type is someone who's really motivated and willing to put the work in, put their head down, and take constructive criticism, because I am very forward and I'm going to give it to you straight, but with empathy, because I've been in your position before. But it's impossible to really help someone that won't help themselves. So if a person is not willing to really take your advice and guidance into consideration and implement, they're never going to they're never going to grow into the person they allegedly want to be, because it takes implementation. And I don't do that for you. I give you the tools you need to implement these things inside of your business, but I'm not going in there and implementing them for you. So you need a drive, and you need an open mind so that you can look at things from a different perspective, because so many times we have these blinders on that we do things the right way and this is the only way and my industry is different. It's not. Here's a PSA announcement. It is not different. The way that you structure your business, the way that you delegate, the way that you set your mission and your core values, that is something any business can do across the board. Your business and industry are not as special as you think. So you need to have this open mind to be receptive to thinking a different way, because guess what? The reason you're reaching out to me is because what you're doing is not working, right? So let me help you. And I think
that's not actually true. Maybe what they're doing is working, but they want to do it faster, right?
More efficiently.
Like that's why you hire somebody like you to do that. So if someone wanted to hire you today, where are they going? And what's your application process like?
Okay, so you can find me on my website, pivotandslay.com. There is a link there to start the application process. And that includes getting on the phone with me and talking about what you're looking to achieve and making sure that we align. And you can find me on Instagram or on Facebook at the Jessica Dennehy.
Now, how many spots are left open right now? And what is like the cheat code to make sure they get you? I mean, if you're going to give them the sauce, give them the sauce, right? So,
what is the cheat code?
No, cheat code, right? Like what, like, what does that interview process look like, and how many spots are left?
So So the interview process, right, is you're gonna start the application from my website, and it's gonna ask you a series of questions to just get to know you better. See if initially I think you're even ready for a coach, because sometimes people are not, at that level yet. Then we hop on, once you submit that and I get to review it, then we hop on a call and just to kind of gauge each other, because I want this relationship to be mutually beneficial. I want to make sure that I'm the right person for you and that I can really catapult you into success. And right now, I only have 5 spots available. So I'm pretty full. I'm excited about that. But I just offboarded a few people, and I am ready to take on a few more.
Awesome. I love it. Well, guys, if you're an entrepreneur or thinking about being an entrepreneur, I trust Jessica with a lot. I use Jessica for a lot of different things in my companies and my businesses. And I would say I'm somewhat established. So she's definitely the right person. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing the show together. All right. That's just how I feel about her. So I'm sure you got a lot out of this. Do us a favor, please share it. Leave us a review. We don't charge. We just want to help people, right? That is our mission, is to make that impact. So please share this with people that need to hear. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're dropping a review. All right. Thank you. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Creating success out of failure. Creating success out of failure.
Thanks for tuning in to Creating Success Out of Failure. Please share this with someone that needs to hear it, post it on social media, and leave us a 5-star review. I'll catch you on the next one.
Creating success out of failure.